Everybody wants Spokane to be a great place to live, and now our city has come up with a financial plan to make it happen.
It's going to be a win-win, and we're actually putting the money behind it, and we're putting the plan to work.
The City Council is ready to spend $51.9 million over the next 2 years on our safety, infrastructure, urban experience, and the financial health of Spokane.
We're thinking, how do we invest in lasting projects out in the community that will have a return on investment to our community for years to come.
They are a series of one-time investments in projects that citizens have put at the top of their wish list. That includes speeding up street improvements, encouraging development, and promoting water conservation. It's also a continuation of funding recreation, the arts, public safety, and helping our neighbors experiencing homelessness.
But there's no homes available for them, no apartments for them to move in. And this jumpstarts some of that in the city, really making a commitment with our shelter system, jumpstarts and then says, now we need to build that permanent housing. We're putting our money where our mouth is.
City officials say we can afford these upgrades because of their financial discipline over the past 6 years and our improved economy. The council and mayor now want to share those dividends with the community.
It's quality of life issues, yes, it's infrastructure, but now also it's these other catalytic investments.
These projects will boost median household incomes, property values, livable wage jobs, our bond rating, population growth, social capital, and build the safest city of our size.
We know as we build that urban center for this region that people are responding. And businesses are responding, and they want to locate here.
Plan highlights include $10 million to speed up street improvements by advancing the thin grind and overlay pilot on arterials as a longer-term solution to chronic potholes. You'll see more work being done improving residential and unimproved streets. The city also wants to make infrastructure investments in areas that are ready for more growth and development.
I would call it targeted spending. So like the Sprague project has been so successful and we're seeing private investment because we targeted dollars to that area. So now we're starting to target dollars to the West Plains and to the Northeast Spokane, and then private investment will follow.
Another $12 million has been set aside to keep the focus on the river by completing a 3-mile riverside trail, improving river access, and leveraging the Riverfront Spokane investment to expand the western boundaries of the park all the way to the Monroe Street Bridge.
We're going to see a stronger economy. We're going to see a better quality of life for our citizens. And we're going to see better infrastructure and outdoor opportunities.
Safety remains a top priority, with $15 million going to purchase public safety vehicles and equipment, increase housing for our most vulnerable, and invest in clean and safe neighborhoods.
We can't really be successful as a city unless we address the poverty situation, because we are a city that has a high poverty rate. We need to fix that.
Another $4.5 million will replenish the city's rainy day fund and advance centers of excellence in targeted areas. 9 different sources of money, all using existing resources, are funding approximately 20 different areas. These investments were picked based on a criteria requiring that these projects get us closer to one of our strategic goals. We're making improvements without adding ongoing cost. We also want to leave the investment source healthy and get back either increased revenue or a cost reduction.
I've been here since 2008 working for the city. First time I can remember mayor, city council being collaborative and actually going forward with a plan that is so visionary, innovative, a game changer I call it. I know that's an overused term, but it really is.
As the winter season takes hold of the inland Northwest, temperatures drop and the moisture in the air turns to snow. While many of us can navigate the snow fairly easily, others can have a bit more of a challenge.
And I'm stuck right here. Darn it.
Many disabled citizens dread the winter months.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I can't go around or through, so I'm basically stuck indoors.
John Albright has been in a wheelchair since suffering a stroke in 2005. Every winter, John counts on property owners to keep their sidewalks clear of snow and ice.
I tend to stay in my house a little bit more, but I still have to get out and go to the grocery store and get groceries and, you know, pick up my mail and stuff like that. And sometimes in my wheelchair, I can still get stuck depending on how much snow is accumulated. So yeah, it is a challenge, it really is. It's a nightmare sometimes.
Clear sidewalks can be a lifeline to many in our community.
They are the method in which school children, elderly, working people all get to important parts of our town, which include bus stops, includes parks, even places of work or for shopping. And when there's snow across the sidewalk, it makes it harder for everyone to get to their destination, and it also makes it unsafe.
Heather Troutman works for the Office of Neighborhood Services and Code Enforcement. For the last several years, she's been educating property owners about their responsibility over the winter months.
We have been engaged for the last several years in an education program to make sure people are aware that it is their responsibility to clear their sidewalk and that they are liable to make sure that that sidewalk is clear. So if someone trips or falls, then they are responsible for that. And that we have been giving out warnings in past years to let people know when there's been a complaint about a sidewalk not being cleared, that it is their responsibility. And there is the potential that a ticket could be issued, a non-traffic ticket, for failing to clear a sidewalk.
Clearing the sidewalk ensures that people like John can get to where they're going safely. But it's not just sidewalks.
It's important not to just think of a clear pedestrian pathway as simply a sidewalk. There's a lot of places in our community where there's broken connections. In other words, there may be a lot or several lots and then there's sidewalk. It's important for, even in those instances, for people to clear what we call a walkable path.
Citations can be issued for failing to clear the walkway in front of your property of snow and ice. If you are unable to clear your own sidewalk, ask a neighbor for help.
We do ask for people, if they're aware if there's an elderly or disabled people within their neighborhood, to reach out and help them and make a stronger community through that effort.
Before losing the ability, John used to shovel for his neighbors.
I shoveled some of my neighbors' walkways and whatnot, as well as my own. So I did like to participate in it. You know, it might not be the funnest job in the world, but it has its needs to be done.
Let's work together to ensure that everyone has a safe winter.
Hi, my name is Officer McCord. I'm with the City of Spokane Parking Services, and I'm checking disabled parking today.
It's Rick McCord's job to make sure disabled people can find parking when they need it.
Who is this issued to, sir?
Mike, I believe.
Okay.
But not only is this driver not disabled, but he's also toting around somebody else's parking placard in his backpack.
So you're utilizing his placard to park in a disabled spot?
And that's why McCord issued the owner of this car a $450 ticket, explaining that you only intended to use a disabled spot for a few minutes is just as bad as parking there for an hour.
We don't accept that excuse because they're putting their convenience ahead of the needs of the disabled community.
Usually what I do is I open this side door first. And I make
Brett Bunge hasn't let his lifelong disability get in his way. In fact, the doors really began to open for Brett when he got his driver's license.
My car is the key to my independence. I use it to get to and from my work. I use it to get to and from personal errands. I use it to transport people.
You'd never know Brett has cerebral palsy from the way he gets around town, but his mobility can come to a screeching halt when it comes to parking.
I know that accessible parking placards do tend to be misused, and accessible spaces absolutely tend to be misused. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen somebody park in a crosshatch or take an accessible spot with a motorcycle.
Brett doesn't need a parking spot as much as he needs a lot of room around his car.
The space that I need to offload my wheelchair is probably the most important part of my transportation.
And that space is supposed to be reserved by these blue crosshatches, but sometimes other drivers park off sides.
I went to the event and I returned, and the car was parked so close that not only could I not get my wheelchair in, I could not even make it to my driver's door. There was that little of space. What it comes down to is educating people about the proper use of these kind of spots.
Officer McCord says he sees more violations when the weather turns cold and wet or more people are out shopping for the holidays.
And with that, the extra congestion, it certainly makes it so more tempting for somebody to just pop right in and try and use the stall real quickly.
And that's why McCord even works the late shift, making sure disabled parking spots are available for the people who need them 24/7. If you've ever wondered what would happen if an entire community pitched in for a worthy project, East Central Spokane's new Fresh Soul restaurant is the answer.
Now we're talking about ribs, chicken, hot links, pulled pork, brisket, but we want to specialize in the seafood gumbo that they don't have here in Spokane at all. You will have your fryer here, you have your grill, you have your...
Michael Brown plans to serve authentic Southern food, but the Fresh Soul is really the recipe for bringing new life to East Central Spokane, starting with jobs for neighborhood teens.
So what we want to do here, if we want to give them the skills here, that's going to be necessary, that's going to change their attitude and their perception towards career and educational opportunities right here at Fresh Soul. How are you on the end?
But renovating a former ice cream parlor that stood vacant for more than 40 years hasn't been easy. The city of Spokane got the project rolling with a new roof.
One of the goals of the Community Housing and Human Services Department is to be able to help promote community development, and we really viewed this restaurant as being a part of that and really helping to spur some additional economic development and growth.
And the chance to rebuild a new and lasting focal point for a neighborhood has attracted many hands. An all-female construction class installed the drywall. Local 44 handled the plumbing. Volunteers from Lowe's have donated 1,200 hours and $15,000 in materials.
We want to make sure that we're doing the same thing and doing our part with our employees and our staff, volunteering in the communities that we live and work in every single day.
A grant from the city of Spokane is also paying for all the restaurant's kitchen equipment, including this walk-in cooler. The city installed this new sidewalk, planted trees. They are all investments intended to restart the heart and soul of East Central Spokane.
The community has rallied around me, the city, all these different sponsors that can help making this possible. It's becoming a reality now.
Maria, so how's work?
It was fourth period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bell and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Cool.
Because of Shriners Hospitals for Children, I can play basketball. I could climb stairs. I can write my name.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child, regardless of the family's ability to pay. If you know a child we can help, visit shrinershospitalsforchildren.org.
But I'm not the only one. I hope someday
I'm Jeff Corwin. Founded in 1877, American Humane is dedicated to the idea that all animals are entitled to humane treatment. Today, endangered species are experiencing a better quality of life because of the ethical, science-based standards established by American Humane. Teach your kids the importance of wildlife conservation by visiting humane-certified zoos and aquariums. To learn more, visit AmericanHumane.org.
Every Monday morning, dozens of people line up outside the downtown Spokane library, but they're not really here to check out books.
I'm a felon. I'm a convicted felon, so...
Jamie Scamola is making his last appearance here in Community Court, a place where people who have committed nonviolent offenses while living on and off the street can get some help.
These service providers already existed in the city, and what Community Court does is it puts them all in one spot, so that they don't have to run all over town in order to access those same services.
Defendants have to report to court once a week and continue to stay out of trouble for 6 months. Police credit Community Court with reducing quality of life crimes in the downtown area.
The resources are here. You just have to reach out for them and actually come and do them. So if you don't want it, you're not going to get it, basically.
Community Court is designed to slow down the revolving door at our jail, where locking people up even for minor crimes costs us $130 a day, and time behind bars usually doesn't fix the problem if you're homeless.
So what Community Court does is we actually make them work harder here than they're made to do by sitting on a jail sentence.
As a condition of avoiding jail time, defendants have to complete their community service and accept help with the issues that put them on the street in the first place.
So let me sign off on your dismissal.
So Community Court is more about solving problems than punishing people. And if defendants can jump through a half year of therapeutic hoops, they get to graduate.
The work that you have done demonstrates to me that you have the ability to dream for something better than where you're at right now.
Scamola is now one of 400 people who have graduated from Community Court, his name on one of the leaves that have sprouted from this victory tree. And what's next for you?
Success. So I just got to keep going.
Congratulations, and then you're a leaf on our tree.
And now Community Court is expanding its operations to the Northeast Spokane Community Center. It's a chance to improve quality of life issues for the people who live and work in and around Hilliard. Here behind the razor wire at Geiger Corrections, Sean Gilbert is getting ready for a new crime-free career by learning how to build things.
I think it could definitely be a foot in on a different lifestyle or a different, doing something different besides committing crimes, getting in a good job or a career could definitely help with that.
Gilbert is one of 6 inmates graduating from the Head Start to the Construction Trades program. It's a free 6-week course taught by Associated General Contractors, and one of their projects was this new greenhouse to help jumpstart Geiger's garden in the springtime.
Coming here and doing work release and stuff, there's no chance of any job out of that really, and this is kind of more of a set you up for a career. It gives you skills needed to actually get a job,
Like other AGC courses, including this all-female non-inmate class, students get the training and certificates they need for entry-level construction jobs. Grants from the City of Spokane help to fund these programs. Spokane's mayor thinks providing occupational training behind bars is a great way to put repeat offenders on the right track.
Is the right way to address issues of recidivism, and it's the right way to address investments in our citizens so they have an opportunity for a job and have a background that really propels them to have a leg up as they transition back into civilian life.
And so now Gilbert is scheduled to walk through this gate on December 18th. He says he's going to immediately start applying for jobs, but Gilbert is hoping, along with a majority of the Spokane City Council, that his criminal history won't keep him from an honest day's work. Reporting at the Geiger Correction Center, Jeff Humphrey, City Cable 5. It's been a long climb for Melissa Halverson. 3 months ago, the single-parent mom didn't know the difference between a scissor lift and scaffolding. Now Melissa is putting the finishing touches on the carousel rotunda.
It makes me feel great, and I just love it. I really like this job. There's still
a lot for me to learn, but I've learned a lot and I enjoy it.
We first met Melissa last October when she was enrolled in this class that teaches students what it takes to make a living in construction. Melissa took the course hoping to shore up a better future for her family.
So I have 2 children, and over the past decade I've been working in the business field or sales, and no matter what I was doing, I could never get above the poverty level because I don't have a bachelor's degree.
So Melissa signed up for the Head Start to the Construction Trades Training Program, a free 6-week class that teaches the basics about how to build things.
We developed 6 areas, and so that's physical, mental, emotional control, intuition, skills trades, and then spirit, so an unconquerable spirit.
That spirit led to Melissa graduating from the Head Start program along with her fellow female students, nicknamed the Magnificent Seven. Are you impressed with the changes that you've seen in your daughter because of the class?
Oh, absolutely, yes. This has been an amazing 6 weeks.
And now it's time for Melissa's daughters to be impressed as well because their mom is helping to build a new Spokane landmark.
She's doing really good, comes to work with a positive attitude, really looking forward to learning every day. She's getting along with everybody on the job.
It's a job taping and mudding drywall, but earning Melissa the biggest paychecks of her life.
I was really excited to raise my kids here in Spokane and then share Riverfront Park with them in the carousel.
In fact, these are pictures of Malika and Natea on the carousel long before the park's makeover. Now, taking a ride on the Loof will be even more special for Melissa's family.
Riverfront Park is pretty much the heart of Spokane, in my opinion, so I feel great that I got to be a part of it. And as long as this building stands, I can walk in here and look up and think of things that I've done here.
Because Head Start training helps put people to work, the program is supported by grants and donations from the city of Spokane. The class has a 65% job placement rate, and Melissa is glad to be one of AGC's graduates.
Motor 28-year dress in the narrative for it.
When it comes to facial hair, Spokane police are limited to just mustaches and short goatees, but this November, patrol officers had a chance to ditch their razors for a worthy cause.
I think one of our officers, Officer David Corinne, came up with the idea. He presented it to Chief Meidel to do this and to support a charity, which that charity that he selected was Community Cancer Fund.
About 40 cops donated a minimum $50 to putting the fuzz back into police work, and the beard started getting longer.
One of our detectives, our female detectives, she wanted to be part of this as well, so she made the challenge, the beard growing challenge, a little bit interesting by deciding to donate $250 to whoever won the contest.
The public went online and voted Major King's beard the best of the bunch, and so King promptly donated his winnings to the Community Cancer Fund as well.
So Jared, on behalf of the Spokane Police Department, in honor of No Shave November, I would like to present to you this check from the Spokane Police Department for $3,550, and I want to thank you for everything you do for our cancer patients in the city of Spokane.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, you guys.
Police picked Spokane's Community Cancer Fund because when you're battling a disease, the last thing you need to worry about is money.
Gas cards, help with medications, lodging initiatives.
Jared Kiefer appreciates the donation and what our officers do for us every day.
The fact that the Spokane Police Department does so much for our community, but then would take the next step and really help us out when they have so much going on, but to help not only the Community Cancer Fund, but the local community is just, it's really, really cool.
Construction outside the downtown library is really about getting to a cleaner river faster. We're building a 2 million gallon tank that will hold overflows from combined stormwater and wastewater sewers. And it's a great way to teach our community and our kids about how we help to keep the river clean. The mayor was here and he read the kids a story about the water cycle and how important clean water is to them. And then he brought in a special guest. It was Ribby from the Spokane Indians baseball club. And Ribby is a red band trout and he is native to our Spokane River. So keeping the water clean helps Ribby and all of his friends.
Hooray! Look at that!
And that wasn't all, of course. Ribby and the mayor unveiled that great magnet wall that the kids can use to build the pipe and bring that storm water to the combined sewer overflow tank and eventually to the treatment plant for treatment. It's all about keeping the river clean. This display will be available at the library until the end of construction outside that window, so probably until around the middle of 2019. Come on down and check it out on the second floor of the downtown library.
Thanks for watching Spokane Insight. If you'd like more information on the City of Spokane, please check us out on social media or on our website, SpokaneCity.org.